Lighting is even worse than usual in this video because one of my crappy studio lights that I got 5 or 6 years ago finally bit the dust. But I think it's symbolic because I won't be filming in this location pretty soon. My situation is going to change pretty shortly, so I think it's symbolic. I think it's a sign of the changing times. Asking for things. Asking for things is very, very hard for me. You know when's actually the easiest time for me to ask for things? And it was pretty recently, surrounding my birthday. Surrounding my birthday, asking for things is not that hard because it's expected that you're going to ask for stuff. But that's not really the important things in life, right? Those are superficial things that you ask for on your birthday. I mean, they can be meaningful things, but you know, they're gifts. They're specifically handouts. What's hard for me to ask for is opportunities. I hate asking for opportunities from people. I can't just be straightforward and ask things from people. And when I do ask for things from people, they are usually built up so much in my head before I actually ask the question that I put so much weight on that individual answer being yes, that if the answer is no, then I feel like my whole world crumbles apart and that I should just never ask anything ever again. It's very, very hard for me to ask for anything. And to succeed in this world, you need to ask for things again and again and again and again because you need to get the answer no again and again and again and again. I mean, it's the old adage that the worst thing that people can say is no, but sometimes that sounds like when somebody says the worst they can say is no, that's like hearing somebody say the worst thing they can do is shoot you in the face. It literally feels that severe if you haven't really just exposed yourself to getting the answer no again and again and again and again. It's something that I'm only now kind of getting my head wrapped around, that like no is okay and you will survive and you will just move on to the next thing. But the anticipation of each individual answer is really, really difficult if you're not used to it. Sure, it gets easier over time, but I haven't quite experienced that yet. And of course, who's the person that has control over me getting more experience over it? You know, it's me. I'm the only one who has any control over that. I know why it is. It's from my upbringing. I have not really felt like my voice and my individual needs have mattered very much. And there are certain people, like my mom has done a lot to make sure that my individual needs have been taken care of in a lot of ways. And there are just a lot of other ways in my upbringing. Not just from some members of my family, from schooling, just a lot of stuff. I have not learned that asking is really an appropriate thing to do. And that it's best to just sort of, it's best to convince yourself that what you want is just what's already going on. It's best to just adapt to the things around you is what I've been taught. And that obviously doesn't work. And I think what sets apart really successful people is just that they ask more often. And they get told no more often, and they just roll with it. They just learn how to deal with it. There's a great Nardwuar TED Talk called Just Ask. Just ask. And Nardwuar is the king of just asking because he is like an all-knowing God when it comes to other people's personal lives, and it's just because, like, his whole shtick is that he talks to celebrities and he brings up things that they're like, how the heck did you know that? And it's only because he just asks the people in their circle about them. He just digs a little bit. And if he asks them a question and they're like, I'm not going to answer that, go away, he's just like, oh, okay, whatever, moves on. But every once in a while, you get a yes when you really were not expecting it. And it's an asymmetrical outcome is what that's called. Asymmetrical or asymmetric, I don't know. where the one time that you do get yes, it reaps such big rewards that it makes up for all the tiny losses you got on all those no's before. Really, what it costs you is not so much a monetary one, or even, I mean, it costs you time, but what it costs you more is just an emotional cost. It digs into you. It digs into you to get some no's. And I can name all these situations where I feel like I'm being taken advantage of, or have been in my life, because I didn't ask for what I wanted. I can get mad at other people, but really I'm just mad at myself. And I always know that. I always know that any time that I'm really putting a lot of pressure on somebody else to make me fulfilled, it's because I'm not fulfilling myself in some way. And I'm gonna stand higher than that. Someday. Someday. I think it's not so much that I'm going to stand higher than that someday. It's that I'm taking little tiny baby steps up the ladder with the smallest space between its steps. I'm taking another little tiny step up every day. I want to end this video by ironically asking my viewer for something. But, I mean, the biggest thing that I could ask for that you're already doing is just watching and listening.